Uh, we discussed this last year also, from where it started, the whole vision, how cycling was, is growing after COVID specifically, both professionally, amateur-wise, also for people who are into fitness, and who want to take up cycling as a fitness activity. We have seen a long way, when I think in 90s, I think Omkar sir and Mandirji will know better, when the geared cycle came and then from a normal cycle, and then people started commuting, and now we see cycles of such fine precision technology that there are cyclists, we see them riding at a speed of 40, 50 kilometer per hour on ECR road. So with this, I would like to invite and ask Sundar about this whole vision. And it's not just a dream anymore because we have lived 3 editions, two in Noida, one in Chennai. Sundar, your views, what we saw last year in that rain and how people came with in a huge number in that whole motivation and adrenaline. What is HCL looking forward, the whole vision, and then where do we see the cycling going, HCL Cyclothon going from here?
Hello, thank you, Abhishek. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Yeah, first of all, I'm lots of thanks to Mr. Megnath Reddy, Mr. Omkar Singh, Mr. Mahinder Singh, and of course Abhishek and Rajat for this. It's a pleasure to be here, and of course, very delighted to see such a, what I call an audience of media people, of enthusiastic cyclists, and all of our friends in this room today. So, to talk a little bit about HCL, and I think Alisha in her introduction did mention the fact that we were a $13.4 billion odd technology and allied areas sort of enterprise. And we've been in next year or year after next is going to be a 50th year of existence. So it's a long journey in the Indian technology firmament for us. Our founder Shiv Nadar is a Tamil Nadu person, as all of you know. He grew up and was born and brought up in Tamil Nadu, and he spent his early years here. And we have a lot of things that we do in this state, and many of you know that. I think Tamil Nadu and Chennai is our largest operation from HCL Technologies perspective. I have my colleague Srimati, who corporate vice president from HCL Technologies here. Thank you, Sri. And she's an ardent cyclist as well, so that's a benefit for us in that sense. So one of the things that we at HCL do, we like to think of ourselves as, while we do a lot of work in healthcare, technology, etc., but if at the core of it, our thinking has always been, and we have spent a lot of time thinking about this, as to what do we do exactly? What is it that we want to do? And the answer in our head is that we look at humans, we look at all of us, and see what can we do as an organization to help each other reach the highest potential that we can, right? So we think of ourselves as somebody who multiplies human potential. If there's a certain potential that we have individually in ourselves, what can we do as an organization? What can we do to help each other multiply our potential and reach to the extent, or the largest extent that we can? So that's the essence of the work that we do, and that philosophy extends in our, what I call, in the work that we do and in all the activities that we work for. And with that in mind, one of the things, and we started this about, specifically in sports, if I talk about sports, about 10 odd years ago, we talked to ourselves and just thought about what is it that is the most clear way of looking at human potential at the edge or the cusp of the top of performance. And that is, in a sense, is all about performance athletes. All of us are very excited when we see a cricket match, when we see our team winning. All of us are excited when we see a badminton or any sport for that matter. So sports in our mind is one of the key ways in which the human potential multiplied aspect is very clearly shown in whatever that we do. So with that in mind, we then started thinking in terms of what do we do for sports as HCL. And we looked at various sports. And as Abhishek mentioned, during the times of COVID, we started again thinking further. And one of the sports that we really thought would be of great value for us to think about is cycling, right? Over the last, I think, 25 years, running has been quite an quite a, what I call, a sport which a lot of people have started taking up. All of us are, if you look at your Instagrams or you look wherever, you see a lot of people are running these days. And a lot of people are cycling as well. And as I'm sure Storm Kar Singh, Mahinder Singh have been working at this for the last so many years. But I'm not certain if cycling has received the same amount of energy or enthusiasm as maybe as running has. And we felt that it's a very good sport. Anybody can do it, various levels. You can reach the pinnacle of the sport as well as you can do it in a casual, in a what I call in a more amateur fashion as well. So with that in view, we felt that one of the ways we could look at human potential multiplied is look at cycling and look at what we can do for cycling and to help build some sort of a and more interest in the sport as such. And our current solution at the moment is let's create some very top of the line, absolutely world class cycling competitions, which we started last year from Noida, and of course, the same last year we did one in Chennai as well. And we hope to continue this at least one of the things that we do for cycling as we move forward. So that, Abhishek, a long answer to your short question was the fact that that our entire interest in cycling is all about how do we take this sport forward and how do we sort of help it. And this is a long-term thing from our perspective. It's not a one-off race or something. And we are very delighted, of course, the fact that there is the working very closely with the government of Tamil Nadu, and Mr. Meghnad Reddy will talk about it when he gives his chief guest remarks, and of course working closely with the Cycling Federation as well. So we hope it cannot be done in isolation. It has to be done and as many partners as possible, and with all of us and with your support, we hope to really take this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Sundar. And a long answer to my short question. I remember first year the questions used to be longer, because we wanted people to understand what we are doing. And I think every year, if we'll see, answers will get longer because we'll have more content, questions will get shorter. And with this, like you mentioned about human potential, multiplying it, and then providing something back to the society where we see something happening. I, as a sportsman, as a cyclist or a triathlete, I was shocked, when we cycle on the road, we cycle, say, 30, 31, 32. As an amateur, Maninder said, not like a professional, but we cycle like 30, 31, 32, 35 kilometer per hour. But I have seen cyclists, we have one winner of Noida here, that girl cycle 39 kilometer per hour. So even the amateurs are, they're realizing their potentials. And there was a lot what we saw in two editions of Noida and Chennai. And with that, I'll request Rajat, if you can share some light of what was the experience, how you felt when we experienced the second edition in Noida, and what we are going to bring different in Chennai in the second edition.
Thanks, Abhishek, and thank you, Sundar. Thank you, Reddy sir. Thank you, Omkar Singh. Thank you, Maninder sir. And thank you for everyone to come in and join us for this second edition launch. Like Sundar mentioned about our philosophy of HCL Group, I'll just take this a little further. HCL Sports is all about multiplying potential of athletes and the ecosystem, right? So now with that thought in mind, how do we impact cycling is one of the things that we thought about. And I think the first two editions in Noida and Chennai were more about doing this event, promoting cycling to amateurs and other people. But the second edition of Noida, which saw a double participation from the first edition, basically what we did was we looked at the feedback coming in from cyclists. There are of course distance categories like 55 kilometers, 27 kilometers, and 10 kilometers. We increased some race categories, we increased some age groups so that we have more participation, right? Whether it's from amateurs or people like us, who generally cycle like hobbies, right? So we did that. We also did a lot of RW engagements, a lot of promotional rides within Noida, within Delhi NCR, and which is why we had a lot of participation. We actually had to stop the participation at a certain point of time, but we had about 2,500 people participating in Noida second edition. We're looking to do the same thing in Chennai. Second edition, we are increasing a race category. Of course, Abhishek will talk more about the technical details of it, but we are increasing the race categories. The race route is the same, and thanks to Reddy sir and of course Stalin sir, who for the first time ever, that entire stretch of road from ECR or Mayajal complex to Mahabalipuram was open for cyclists to cycle at will, right? So that was one of the biggest things that we did, and without the support of the government of Tamil Nadu, this couldn't have happened. Of course, we worked a lot with CFI to see how we can get the best cyclists in the country to participate in this race. It's also part of the CFI calendar. So thank you, sir, for the continued association. So we're looking to do the same thing in Chennai Edition 2. It's the same stretch of road. We're increasing race categories. We have increased the prize money. There is, I think, the addition of one more age group in the amateur category. We're looking to increase participation. That is one aspect of it. But also, one of the things that we want to do this year is how to look at safety of cyclists. In the last year or so, we have seen a lot of deaths happening on the road for cyclists, hit and run cases and all of that. So we have spoken to Reddy sir and Atul Mishra sir, on how to get this, at least sensitize, like for example, the bus drivers or auto drivers and all of the cab drivers. So we are working on a campaign. We will also try and launch this. This won't be just specific to cyclothon, but it will probably be a year-round activity. We'll do some rides with them. We'll sensitize these people and try and make roads a little more safer for cyclists. So that's one of the other things that we are trying to do. So we are looking for increased participation and increased support from all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Wow. So before you see kids coming to Cycling Federation of India, through different states federations, and they're kids who are 15, 16, 17-year-old who have a dream to go and win the medal for the country in nationals, Asian, this. How it has grown, say 20 years back, and now because cycling is there, HCL is doing races, Tamil Nadu government, there are multiple governments who are supporting. Have you seen the rallies going up, like the medals in national, international circuit in cycling?
So again, short question is going to be a long answer. So pardon me for that. But yeah, so this question deserves that much answer. So see, when it comes to professional cycling, that is where our expertise lies. That is where we are into that sphere. But to get to that professional phase, there are a lot of things that need to be first built on. What we have observed over the past 15 years is basically who are the people who actually take up cycling as a sport. For any sport for that matter in this country. They are mostly people who are passionate about that sport, but that percentage is very less. The larger percentage is people who are looking to get a job, who are looking to take it to the level where they can use that platform to get somewhere else. So until and unless there is a mass participation, there is events like HCL Cyclothon. We can't really pull out elite cyclists from there. So this is one part of it, and the most important. Not just one part, this is the most important, because until unless a community rides, until unless a parent rides, he would not know the thrill of riding a cycle, and he's not going to help his kid develop that skill in cycling until unless they do it themselves. So I don't know if you noticed it or not. In Noida, I did notice when we reached the site of the start point, there were more parents than kids at the start line first.
True.
Yeah, there were more parents, and then the kids came in later.
Correct.
Yeah, so that is exactly what has changed.
True.
The landscape has, of course, changed after Corona.
Yep.
And the ad that you showed, it exactly replicates what I'm saying.
Right.
So thank you, HCL. Thank you, government of Tamil Nadu, for all their support. Just one thing to add to this, there are some good news, because cycling is not like Mr. Sundar just said, that it is not picked up as much popularity as something like a marathon or something. But whenever we get a platform, we do share these things. in the past 5 years, 6 years, where the federation has what the federation has achieved, what our cyclists has achieved is something which is absolutely extraordinary in the world of cycling. Uh, in a period of 5 years, from ranked 180 plus in about 200 cycling playing nations, in a period of 4 years, we became junior world champions. We broke all Asian records. At the junior level, we won our first medal in the road continental championship this year, a couple of months back. The international body, the UCI, has rated us as they have a pointing system of administration and how a federation works. They've rated us 10 out of 10, which is absolutely not possible. It is not that the federation has done. This is where people like HCL or the state governments come in, because when they see these events happening, when they see the number of people riding a cycle in a country and coming out of this mass participation events, so that is where we have risen to. So thank you all. You are all part of this journey. This is not an organization where we call it as a federation. We always refer to as a family. The bigger the family, the merit. So thank you all for being here, for being part of this initiative, which I'm pretty sure is gonna rise to a level where we'll see. Just one more thing. You must have all heard about Tour de France. There are continental teams which take part in that. So for the first time, in the team Astana, which is one of the leading teams, so they have started the women continental team, and we have an Indian for the first time riding in that continental team.
Wow.
This is something
We are
very
growing,
huge.
true.
This is really huge, and not because he is here, so I'm saying, but this was absolutely and totally his efforts, because that team is registered in Asia. So when we have somebody like Omkarji sitting at the helm of the things, so we can nudge him, and we can pull some strings and say we need somebody. So but that is something huge, and the report that we are getting from Team Astana is that she is phenomenal. She is still a junior. She's just turned elite. So we have a long road ahead. There are a lot of prospects in cycling. So let's all get together and make HCL Cyclothon one of the most successful events, at least in Asia. And there are bigger things in store for sure. So thank you all.
Thank you, Maninderji. It's a great news that an Indian cyclist is now going to take part in Tour de France as Team Astana also. Now all this, obviously, we all know.
First of all, I'm grateful to HCL and of course Megnath Reddy ji, who's been always a pillar of strength for all the sports in the Tamil Nadu state, and especially what he's doing for cycling. I'm really grateful to government of Tamil Nadu for extending so much of support to cycling. Gentlemen, ladies, we've gone a long way. If we think of it, cycling it's not just cycling. It's when a child grows up, first thing he asks is a cycle. Anyone, and I think out of 140 million people, 140 crore people, 100 crore must have ridden a bicycle once in a lifetime. So coming with the HCL, I think that we didn't have this resources or this kind of support to reach to those people who really cycle. We are into competitive cycling. I think HCL was the conduit for us to reach to each and every cyclist in the country. So I'm grateful to HCL for joining with us, for taking this mission forward. Cycling, basically, it saves fuel, it's environmental friendly, and plus it's a poor man's transport and rich man's leisure and fitness. So it's related to each and every person in the world. Cycle. So getting down to each and every person to give the benefit of cycling. We have a tagline which says burn fat, not fuel. So when you burn your fat, you're saving the fuel, you're saving the environment, and plus it's most healthy sport, if I may say so. Plus the amount of people who are getting into cycling. It shows it's growing, day by day growing. And thanks to HCL, who's taking to that level that people started cycling off and on. And now they're taking it regularly as a way of their life. HCL, I think you're synonym to cycling now. You'll be doing a lot of sports otherwise, but cycling, I believe now we are synonym with HCL for cycling, reaching to those. I know you've been supporting squash, you've been supporting bridge, but the amount of, the cycling goes down the line with most of the people in the country, which other sports will not do that. So thank you so much for coming in. And Abhishek, your answer is, to that question, we are going far ahead, and mind you, you'll see in the days to come, and it will be HCL Cyclothon will be one of the most sought after event in the country. Like we had marathons, we have so many things, but yes, we have just started, but in 3 years' time, it's been growing like anything, and I believe in other years to come. And mind you, Mr. Megnath Reddy is here. I'm trying to bring Asian Cycling Road Championship to India in 2026.
Wow.
Which I'm quite sure I will be able to do it. And my first choice will be Chennai. I'll talk to.
We are setting the route, sir.
Yeah, that's my dream, because last time we held the road championship was in Delhi. That was 2013, and we held it at F1 circuit.
Right.
But this time we want to hold it on the roads of the city, so that people can see it's a 5-6 day event where about 40 countries come in, and the whole Asian continent is there. So I'll try to bring this to Chennai, and God willingly, with support of the government, support of HCL, we'll always do it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, sir, that's a great news, and I think it's a huge news. Like, it's big. Asian.
It's a matter of pride for SDAT to be partnering with HCL for this HCL Cyclothon Chennai edition 2.0. And at the same time, I must place on record our sincere gratitude and thanks to Honorable Chief Minister and Honorable Sports Minister, sir. Abhishek was mentioning how when HCL came up with this idea, we were very excited. The first thing that struck us was HCL is from Tamil Nadu, but a cycling event is happening in Noida. Why not Chennai? Because Chennai is known for its cycling. So that's the first trigger. And then we know the kind of support HCL is doing to squash and other sports. And then we felt Chennai deserves HCL Cyclothon. See, that's the motivation and inspiration behind which we ensured that the cyclothon happened last year. And I remember that evening when Honorable Minister himself chaired a meeting with top police officials from Chennai, from Tambaram, from Chengalpattu district, because you need 3 jurisdictions. You need to collaborate all of them, bring them together, and then Chennai Corporation, then authorities from Chengalpattu. So, in fact, 15 minutes he gave clear directions and said that this, event has to be done in a very successful manner. And you all know how our Honorable Chief Minister himself is a cycling, enthusiast, and he cycles very often. So, I thank both of them for the kind of support that has been given to us. In fact, the joke last year when we did the cyclothon was there were around 1,300 cyclists and there were equal number of cops on the road to protect all of them. So that's the kind of arrangements Tamil Nadu has put in place, and we take a lot of pride in that. And at the same time, the reason why brands like HCL, big companies like HCL probably add special value is, I mean, a sport like cycling needs people like HCL to come on board. States can do a lot of work, federations can do a lot of work, associations can do a lot of work, but you have that big brand, the sport is taken to the next level. I mean, I'm sure an event like this, could be done only when you have, people with passion like HCL. So thank you so much for doing that, and thank you so much for bringing Cyclothon to Chennai. And we have seen the kind of hit it was last year. That beautiful morning, I remember it was drizzling, 1,300 cyclists. completely green zone, and the kind of, finish it was. Honorable Minister himself was there. So it was a fantastic event, and I'm sure. And in fact, it gave me a lot of confidence. I told them that day also, cyclothon is here to stay in Chennai and it will keep growing bigger. So that should be our target. And let me also take a moment to thank the stakeholders, particularly police, the kind of support, police department, both Greater Chennai Police, Tambaram Commissionerate, and Chengalpattu Police has given us, immense. Just one phone call, they'll say, sir, we'll do whatever is required. The corporation, GCC Corporation, Chengalpattu Municipal Administration, and Health Department. So everyone, and most importantly, volunteers. The true heroes of this event last year were the volunteers, around 400 volunteers helping everyone around. So we thank all of them. I must say that, it won't be an exaggeration if I say that Tamil Nadu sports has been, witnessing its golden era for the past 2.5, 3 years. What we have been able to do for every sport is, is well known, and we are leaving no stone unturned to bring that improvement to every sport. And we'll take example of cycling, because, if I keep speaking, it'll take 1 hour, as to what we are doing for sports, but I'll restrict myself only to cycling. Cycling remains one of our biggest priority areas as far as sport is concerned, not just cyclothons and all. As a sport, that we make our younger generation come and take up as a sporting discipline on a competitive level. You all know, many friends from media would know that Honorable Chief Minister launched Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation, one of the very few initiatives, probably the only initiative by a state government anywhere in the country, where we launched a foundation to accept CSR donations and use it for the benefit of the sports persons. In fact, the first rupees 5 lakh to the foundation came from Honorable Chief Minister, and Honorable Minister keeps reviewing it. The impact that TNC have generated is humongous. We so far benefited around 450 different sports persons, for their equipment, for their travel, everything, of which, almost more than, 1/4 or 1/3 is para sports persons. Matter of pride is the first beneficiary of Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation is a cyclist. We heard a news story in a newspaper that a young girl, class 12 girl from Coimbatore named Tabitha, is into cycling. I mean, due to her conditions that she could not afford a competitive cycle, which would cost around 15 lakh or 14 lakh odd. So when we launched, parallelly we launched Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation, that's when Honorable Minister said she will be the first beneficiary. And so when we gave the first cycle, worth 15 lakh, many people were shocked. I mean, I was told in political, circles that does a cycle cost 15 lakh? I mean, we have heard a car, costing, 15 lakh, or a bike costing, 15 lakh. Does a cycle cost 15 lakhs? Yes, we said yes. That's how competitive cycle is. And after that, there were at least 7 to 8 cycling, champions, young champions who were given cycles. And today also, in the evening, 4 p.m., Honorable Minister is giving another cyclist a cycle worth around 12, 13 lakhs, for their competitions. And what did we achieve out of this? You won't believe, you go through the profiles of all these beneficiaries from Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation. All these young girls and boys ensured that for the first time in the history of Khelo India Youth Games, Tamil Nadu is the overall champion in cycling in both boys and girls category. And you take the profiles of these young boys and girls, you find them not from Chennai, you find them from remote parts of Coimbatore, remote parts of Teni, here, there, coming, studying in government schools, but has this passion for cycling and are able to win medals. So that's the kind of impact we could generate in the last, 1.5 years. And I should thank the association here, Cycling Association of Tamil Nadu, for their tremendous efforts. Also, for the first time, Khelo India Games, when we did this January, we do have a fantastic velodrome at TN Pesu, but which was in a state of neglect for quite some time. Normally, when we do Khelo Games, what happens is the track cycling always goes to Delhi because many states doesn't have the capacity to do a velodrome or have a velodrome. We took it up as a challenge. We ensured, no, let Tamil Nadu be the first state which conducts all Khelo India Youth Games in Tamil Nadu itself. We put, velodrome back in life in, in flat 2 to 3 months, ensured that it is state of the art, and we conducted track cycling at TN Pesu Velodrome in Chennai. But I mean, I'll have to, the icing on the cake as far as cycling is concerned is, see, when we saw the results, these young boys and girls, performing very well and winning medals left, right and center everywhere. But what really struck me was most of them go to Trivandrum or Delhi for their training because that's where centers of excellence were there. The question that struck me was, see, when we have a velodrome and when we have cycling flourishing so well, why don't we open a center of excellence? I had consultation with our association, then I took permission from Honorable Ministry, was very excited. He said, let's do this. And in no time, you can go to Vandalur, Physical Education Sports University campus, and you can see some 28, 30 odd young boys and girls starting their daily routine, and they have been for the first time ever in the history of SDAT or probably any state government. You have 30, students just for cycling, as their sports discipline. Normally we take for football, we take for volleyball, but we were the first state probably, if I'm not wrong, to start a hostel, center of excellence, where they go and study in a nearby school and practice their discipline, which is cycling, day in and day out. We have already provided them cycles, and I'm sure we'll keep generating more and more champions. And most importantly, that's when the inspiration also came that when we're doing so well in cycling, let's take it to the next level. And we know the kind of medals that BMX offers at Olympics. If I'm not wrong, around 12 medals. So federation spoke to us, association spoke to us. That's when we took it as a challenge. We found a land near Velodrome in Vandalur. And this budget announcement, if you see, one of the first announcements by Honorable Minister Sir on the floor of the Assembly was that Tamil Nadu is setting up India's probably state-sponsored first BMX track. So land has been finalized. In fact, we have the images. Consultants will be there very soon. Probably by the time we launch this HCL Cyclothon next year, we'll have India's first state-sponsored BMX track up and running, which will give wings to more champions on the way. So that's the kind of work we have been doing. The idea is our idea is to ensure that any guy, any girl, young girl with the potential should be given wings to ensure that they do well in the sport. I have only one request for HCL Cyclothon, and association and federation is also here. We'll also, our biggest challenge will be to ensure that we take cycling to hinterland. We don't it should not be just an urban sport, urban rich sport. There are fantastic boys and girls, and I can vouch for that because I've been seeing them day in and day out. Fantastic boys and girls trying to do wonders in rural parts. So that's why probably even for cyclothon, yes, we do get good crowd from Chennai, but we need to bring crowd from other parts of the state also. And I'm sure we'll get a fantastic, people, who would want to do cycling. So that's where I request HCL, along with the team and association federation, to take the message to every nook and corner and bring more cyclists to Chennai. And so with that, let me again thank HCL for bringing this. I'm sure this will be an annual affair. And like many other marathons and cyclothons, people will have great things to speak about HCL cyclothon. And honestly, let us take pride in the fact that very few cities can offer the breathtaking view and breathtaking road track that we have, in Chennai. I don't think any other city has got that. Let's take pride in that and let's make this a big success. Thank you, one and all.